Sergeant Cole rushed home, dreaming of hugging his little girl. But when he arrived, the house was empty. Hours later, his military K-9 froze outside an old barn, and what they found inside would shatter his heart and change everything forever. His chest tightened with anticipation, thinking of one thing only. His daughter, Emily. He gripped his duffel bag in one hand, his military cap in the other, his heart pounding faster than it ever had in combat. Images of Emily flooded his mind. Her giggles, her small arms wrapping around his neck, the way she used to wait by the front porch for him. He imagined lifting her up, spinning her in the air, hearing her call him Daddy with pure joy. The truck disappeared down the road behind him, leaving only the quiet hum of the countryside. Cole took a deep breath, savoring the crisp, familiar air. The quaint farmhouse he once left behind stood in the distance, its white paint faded but comforting. His chest swelled with emotion, a lump forming in his throat. After months of sand, gunfire, and loneliness, he whispered to himself, "Home. I'm finally home." Cole's boots crunched on the gravel driveway as he approached the farmhouse. His excitement grew with every step, but a strange chill ran through him when he noticed how eerily quiet everything was. No laughter, no barking dog, no sign of life. The front door creaked open under his hand, revealing a dim, silent home that felt like a shadow of what it once was. He dropped his duffel bag by the door and called out, "Emily? Daddy's home." His voice echoed through the empty halls. No response. He tried again, louder this time, but only the wind outside answered. Dust motes danced in the slivers of sunlight that pierced through the cracked curtains, landing on the furniture that looked untouched for weeks. The cold unease gripped his stomach. He moved from room to room, kitchen, living room, bedroom, calling her name, his voice trembling now. Emily's pink blanket lay crumpled on the floor, and her favorite stuffed bunny was abandoned in the corner. The sight made his chest tighten with dread. Cole paused, his breath shallow, listening for any sound that could guide him. In that stillness, he realized something terrifying. His daughter was nowhere to be found. Cole's pulse pounded in his ears as he scanned the room, searching for any sign of where Emily might have gone. The house felt colder now, as if it held a secret it refused to share. His eyes fell on muddy footprints by the back door, small, like a child's, but smeared with something darker, like dried hay and dirt. He grabbed his flashlight and pushed open the back door. A gust of winter air hit him, carrying the faint scent of damp wood and something else, fear. The backyard led into a stretch of frozen fields, their edges meeting a cluster of old barns that he hadn't stepped foot in for years. The snow was patchy, but faint impressions of tiny shoes led toward the weathered buildings. Cole's legs moved on instinct, crunching through the snow as he followed the trail. Each step tightened the knot in his chest. His mind raced with possibilities. Had she wandered off? Or had someone taken her? The thought clawed at his gut. Just as he neared the first barn, a distant, sharp bark split the silence. His heart lurched. It was a K-9's warning bark, echoing across the frozen field. Someone, or something, was there. Cole sprinted toward the barn, the K-9's barking growing louder, sharper, more urgent with every step. His boots crunched against the icy path, his breath clouding in the freezing air. When he reached the wide wooden doors, he saw the German shepherd pacing furiously, claws scraping the frozen dirt, nostrils flaring as it sniffed and barked at a corner of the barn. The soldier hesitated only a moment before shoving the creaky doors open. Inside, dim light filtered through holes in the roof, casting streaks of pale winter sun across the hay-strewn floor. The K-9 bolted inside, moving with instinctual precision, its ears alert and tail stiff. It let out a growl that sent shivers through Cole's spine, then began clawing at a mound of hay near a collapsed ladder. Cole's heart thundered as he rushed to the dog's side. He yanked away handfuls of hay, his gloves scraping against the frozen wood beneath. Then, beneath the last layer, he saw movement, tiny, shivering, and wrapped in a torn pink coat. Emily. His voice cracked as he gently pulled her into his arms. Her lips were blue, her skin pale, but her eyes fluttered open. The K-9 whined softly, as if urging him to act fast. Cole's hands trembled as he wrapped his jacket around Emily, her tiny body cold and limp. He pressed her against his chest, feeling the faintest flutter of her heartbeat. "Stay with me, sweetheart. Daddy's here now," he whispered, his voice cracking under the weight of fear. The K-9 barked sharply, circling them, as if sensing the urgency. Cole scanned the barn for anything that could help. In the corner, he spotted an old horse blanket and quickly bundled Emily in it, trying to trap every bit of warmth he could. Her eyelids flickered, but she didn't speak. Panic rose in his chest. "Come on, girl, we have to move," he urged the K-9. He sprinted out of the barn, slipping on the icy ground, his boots pounding against the frozen dirt road. His truck was parked 100 yards away, but each step felt like a mile. Snowflakes stung his face as he fumbled with the door handle and laid Emily carefully in the back seat. The K-9 leaped in beside her, nuzzling her face, whining softly as if to keep her awake. Cole jumped into the driver's seat, his knuckles white on the steering wheel that he whispered to himself, "Hold on, baby. Just hold on." The truck roared down the snowy back roads, tires skidding dangerously on icy patches. Cole's heart pounded louder than the engine as he glanced in the rearview mirror. Emily lay bundled in the blanket, her face pale and still. The K-9 pressed its muzzle against her cheek, whining, refusing to move an inch away. "Stay with me, Emily. Please, just stay with me," Cole muttered, blinking back tears. He drove one-handed, the other reaching back to touch her leg, needing to feel that she was still there. His soldier's training told him to stay calm, but the father in him was unraveling with every passing second. Finally, the lights of the small-town hospital appeared in the distance. Cole floored the accelerator, sliding into the emergency bay. He jumped out, flinging open the back door and scooping Emily into his arms. "Help! I need help." His voice cracked through the cold night air. Doctors and nurses rushed out, immediately taking Emily inside. The K-9 followed at Cole's heel, still on alert, its eyes locked on the girl that as the doors to the emergency room swung closed. Cole dropped to his knees in the snow, whispering a trembling prayer. Hours felt like days as Cole paced the hospital hallway, the K-9 sitting beside him with ears perked, every sound making it twitch. The cold from outside still clung to his uniform, but he didn't care. His mind replayed the image of Emily shivering in that dark barn, and guilt gnawed at him with every breath. Finally, a doctor emerged from the emergency room. Cole froze, searching the man's face for any hint of news. "She's stable," the doctor said with a reassuring smile. "Severe hypothermia and dehydration, but your daughter is a fighter. She's going to make it." The weight that had crushed Cole's chest for months lifted in an instant. He stumbled into the room, his eyes filling with tears as he saw Emily, propped up in the bed, tiny and fragile, but alive. "Daddy," she whispered, her voice weak but full of love. Cole knelt beside her, pressing his forehead to hers, promising silently that he would never let her out of his sight again. The K-9 gently placed its paws on the bed, resting its head near Emily's hand. She giggled softly, the sound like sunlight breaking through the storm, and the room filled with relief and gratitude. Cole sat beside Emily's bed, her small hand resting in his. The K-9 lay curled at the foot of the bed, keeping a silent watch, as if it understood its mission was finally complete. The horrors of the barn felt like a distant nightmare, replaced by the fragile beauty of this moment.